Well, this is boring. Demon was sitting in the middle of a combat class, watching two students duel on the stage. One was an extremely annoying Mel, wearing pure gold jumpsuit and continuously tried to hit the other combatant after spinning around and firing with his sniper rifle. Every time he would miss, he would swear profusely in a high-pitched voice that didn't seem right for his age. The other one was wearing full riot gear and firing two SMGs without aiming, not bothering to move closer to his target to increase his accuracy. Demon was continuously facepalming as they fired at each other for about 10 minutes before finally decided to actually fight. The one with the sniper rifle fired and managed to hit the other guy in the chest, shouting as he saw the other guy shrug it off, claiming he was hacking. The other one dropped his SMGs and ran full bore towards the other guy before knocking him to the ground and pummeling him to a pulp with massive knuckle busters. Miss Goodwitch called the match soon afterward. Finally! Demon woke up Rosaline, who had fallen asleep next to him. She nearly died from the shock while shouting, "Pancakes!" He laughed a bit before turning his head to the stage. Miss Goodwitch walked into the center of the arena and began the next spin-up match. The first image stopped scrolling and the rest rested on a picture of Demon's helmet. Thank God I get to fight. The next image, however, showed his combatant would be Pyrenikos. Miss Goodwitch shook her head for a bit before reinitializing the random selection. Wait! Demon yelled, clearly outraged at what had just happened. Yes, Mr. Demon? Why can't I fight her? Because she's a 4-time Mistral Regional Champion winner and is probably the most skilled fighter in this room other than me. And on top of that, you don't have aura. She continued, Miss, you might not know this about me, but I can get my Kira to back me up on this. I am literally the best pilot in the entire militia. I've beaten hundreds upon hundreds of soldiers, and can boast to have beaten a sniper in a shoot-off with my pistol. I can hold my own in a fight. Miss Goodwitch looked up at Kira, who simply nodded to back up Demon. She sighed before telling them both to get their stuff. Demon smiled and walked out to the locker where he had put his helmet from before class. He attached all his gear to his armor, and putting a particularly large gauntlet on his left hand as he did, and hefted the rocket launcher onto his shoulder again. As he began walking out, he thought of a better idea. He took off the cloaking mechanism from his armor and attached it to the rocket launcher, turning it invisible. He saw just the faintest of outlines and smiled as he picked it up and walked into the arena. He turned up, hearing the modulator in his headset, and heard multiple people in the audience were placing bets on the duel, all of which were against him. He laughed at how wrong they would be. He set down his rocket launcher as subtly as he could, pulling out his wingman. Pierre walked into the arena and looked quite surprised when she saw Demon, only wielding his pistol. They both set up in combat stances and waited for Miss Goodwitch to start the fight. She held his finger above the button for a while, hesitating as she did, before she looked over at Demon one more time. Are you sure you would like to proceed? I cannot say that you will walk out of this fight alive if something were to go wrong. You should be worried about Pierre's pride, miss, he said, smiling behind his helmet. She nodded and hesitantly pushed the button on the scroll, starting the match, though she acted as if she had just killed Demon. The counter went down on the sides of the arena, and the voice of the commenter filled the area. Break his legs, Yang said from the sidelines. You got this, came a shout from Rosaline. Begin. They stood facing each other, a standoff of wills to see who would fire first, until Pierre broke under the pressure. She raised her rifle and fired directly next to Demon's head to try and get him to move, but he was better than that. Pierre had aimed slightly to the left of his head so that he was not injured, but when it passed by, he simply didn't care. The round whizzed past him and embedded itself in the wall on the other side of the arena. Demon didn't move a muscle. She adjusted her aim, this time setting her sights on his armored chest plate, and fired. The moment she fired, Demon snapped up his left arm and activated the enhancement placed on his gauntlet. A miniature version of a Titan Vortex shield fitted to the extremities of the gauntlet, and when he activated the device, several rectangular rays spread out like frills on the lizard, activating the physics-defying field. The bullet went straight for his chest, then seemed to slow down before finally reversing its course straight at Pyrrha. She brought up her shield to block the bullet, still recovering from now. He had managed to deflect her bullet, but simply raised his arm. Wait, what? She brought up her shield to block it, still recovering from how he had managed to deflect the bullet by simply raising his arm. Okay, that makes more sense. I read it right. Weird. When she looked back, she saw him holding 3 shurikens in between the knuckles of his left hand, his wingman in the other. Before she could do anything, he threw them straight at her, so she raised the shield to block. When the hits didn't come, she looked down to see 3 shurikens embedded in the floor in front of her. "You missed, dumbass!" came the voice of Yang from the crowd, a note of excitement in her voice. As she finished the sentence, the shurikens began glowing a bright blue, and what happened next can only be described as a feat of technological engineering. They emitted a bright blue field that stopped Pyrrha from moving at all. Milo and Akao were pulled from her grip and sent to the floor by the gravity distortion field. She couldn't say or do anything. She was at the mercy of Demon. He smiled and raised his wingman, firing a single shot and watching the aura gauge beneath Pyrrha's name go down. As he did, he pressed a few buttons on his wrist screen before nodding to no one. Then, to everyone's surprise, he reached down and picked up the rocket launcher out of nowhere. Just completely normal, no mods at all, Archer missile pod. He tapped a few buttons on the side of the device before aiming at Pyrrha. She was utterly terrified. This guy was going to fire a missile at her. "Don't worry, this won't kill you. It'll only hurt." He pulled the trigger, and hell was released on Remnant. The round erupted from the chamber, and the gun spewed forth fire and flames. The single rocket flew towards Pyrrha with blinding speed and slammed into her still form. The round detonated, and the explosion was practically a mini-nuke. Pyrrha's aura was depleted faster than someone could say shit, and she was thrown across the entirety of the arena. As everyone watched in awe, they saw that Pyrrha's aura level had stopped just below where it would be depleted, the tiny red mark being barely visible. Miss Goodwitch hastily changed the counter to numbers instead of a bar, as that would prove as a better comparison, and nearly fainted. Out of 100% of the full aura bar that could be, there was only 1% left over. She wiped the sweat from her brow and was about to call the match, but missed one crucial thing happening. Demon had grabbed a grapple launcher from his belt and fired a line at Pyrrha, latching onto the wall next to her. As he was pulled towards her at breakneck speed, the other students could hear him saying one sentence. "This is for letting me get knocked out." He slammed into her with his boot, and finally, the final bit of her aura was depleted, knocking her out as well. She was falling to the floor, but Demon quickly grabbed her and laid her carefully, not wanting to hurt her anymore. He looked up at Miss Goodwitch and waited for her to do something. It took her a second to fully realize what had just happened. "It looks like the winner is Demon," she stated, a hint of disdain in her voice. He nodded before grabbing something on his backpack and injecting it into Pyrrha. As he pulled the vial away, Pyrrha's eyes fluttered open and muttered, "Oh, what happened?" "You okay?" he asked, still a bit worried that he may have hurt her permanently. "Yeah, what was that?" "That was a nuclear-enhanced Titan-grade warhead meant for taking down Titans, so I kinda had to lower the power a bit." "That was low power?" "Yeah," he said guiltily, scratching the back of his head as he did so. So nice battle, I guess? Before she could answer, the bell rang, signaling the end of class. He shook Pierre's hand without her consent and walked off, grabbing his stuff before walking back to his locker. He stored everything there, then walked out of the classroom. As he did, he felt something was a bit off. So he stopped just outside the door. When it finally occurred to him, he sighed a bit. I'm not getting out of this alive, am I? Nope, came the voice of Team RWBY, Nora, and his two other teammates. The sound of cracking knuckles filled the hallway. This is gonna be fun for them. I am not even going to make an excuse at this point. I'm too tired to. It wasn't released until now because I keep forgetting I'm doing this. That's pretty much it. I keep forgetting that I'm recording this. But anyways, I kind of want to start doing a role play, a game. I don't know which yet. So if you have any suggestions, or would you even want to see a role play from me? I mean, my voice is kind of high. Anyways, thank you for watching this. Have a good day.